So I just found out the woods were behind my house. Or I've been finding out a lot of things from these older people who are moving. A lot of crazy things. Some not that crazy, but they were doing filming on this river for Silence of the Lambs, the Buffalo Bill house. And I got my broken baby stroller as like a wood wagon if I want firewood, you know, because it's kind of a trek. Not really though, but it's easier to just roll the shit. And they were all through here with people. So that's kind of crazy. They went, see, this river is called the Calumet River that I'm going to right now. And where they find Buffalo Bill, they actually didn't film in Calumet City. They filmed further this way. There was some filming, I believe, in Calumet City, but here's my trail. And now that it's winter, everything's really coming out of the woodwork. Like things you never see before. Because this is my first year here. And I brought somebody back here and I was telling them, yeah, this is blah, blah, blah. And we were chilling and shit. And we were going along my little trail here. This is my new firewood wheel wagon. It's a baby stroller. But I guess it can go right here for now. This is all my wood. And this old... They're like, why is all this shit... Who put that there? I don't know where that string came from. Is that a hammock? This is a fucking hammock. Oh shit. Well, there's a hammock. I guess that's another thing I have to string up now. A hammock. How about that? Random shit though. All through these woods because it has hundreds and hundreds of years. See these pieces of wood? That's where somebody threw a dead cat. Or possibly it just got there by itself. But why right there? I had to put boards over it. I didn't like that. And then there's this old carpet here that's kind of showing itself. I don't know what this is. People have lived back here throughout the years. They were telling me about a girl who nobody knows what happened to. She was living back here. And there's convicted murderers around here. In Chicago. I mean, there's going to be convicted killers. Keep your gun on you. I would always say keep the gun. Because you'd rather be caught with it than without it. But I'm not going to get caught with neither. So, you walk. You get to the fork in the road by the old tire. When I first moved here, I couldn't believe this was back here. And I couldn't believe nobody came back here. There was a couple people that come back here on dirt bikes. This kid down the way, he's alright. But you guys got a river. Then I'm like, oh, okay, it's the Calumet River. It's the most polluted river in America. But they are cleaning it up. Then you walk through then you get to this spot. Now, in the summertime, the weeds are thicker. So you can't really see that there's a trail right here too much. I mean, you can see it. But... you know. So anyway, this is just some weird thing I saw, and I gotta get the handgun, not rifle, a 22 rifle, or maybe just climb up there on a ladder. But that seems a little precarious as well. And now the river really fucking opens up. I got the rocks. I got the entrance. This is the threshold. We're now in the threshold. I've blessed the spot. So I gotta bless it. It's a weird woods and there's a lot of cattle were slaughtered back here. Or maybe their bones just somehow got here because you could see the saws through like bone shoulders and shit. Here's the shack. That piece of wood fell off the shack. But We're going no power tools. Although here's a drill. I left my drill out here. That drill might as well stay there on the ground, because it's a piece of shit. I need a fucking impact gun. My other one got stolen. So I'm working with this guy. Hand tool. Hey, it's not an antique hand tool. Actually, the antique hand tool would probably work better for drilling. I got this antique drill. You do like this with it, and it's got two, teeth gears, like this. You drill like this, and it drills. Antique shit I got. But we don't have an impact gun, so we have this ratchet with a bit socket. And you just bored up. I took some old off one of these dilapidated houses. I took the old siding. This was made out of some other garbage. There's an old road sign. It says it said detour ahead, I believe. Let's see how the old fireplace is holding up. Oh, there's nobody living in it. See all that corn? I was burning corn and it was popping like popcorn. From these corn stalks, the baby corns. I got a piece of wood that might go good on the back of this thing. Anyway, so there's a threshold. The threshold ends there, and then this becomes wilder. This, when I first started, was total fucking jungle. And I went back, I made this trail further deeper into the woods, and I drug all my sloppy shit way in the back, so when you walk in, you don't see it. You'd have to really walk in to see all my junk. I had about a lot of these. Every time I come back here, I'd take like 3 or 4, right? And they piled up, and I would disassemble them, and I turned them into the shack. But then, you get a little depressed. You start walking around. There's an old telephone pole. You start walking around. The initial happiness of moving in and having a river fades. Now you're just looking at it like, yeah, And then you walk around and you walk and you're looking and you're finding shit. Finding old fucking remnants of people from the past. And there's this crazy old sewer over there that's abandoned that goes way down. And then where is it? Oh, there she is. Look at that. Can you see the numbers? Of course we have to have 666 on our pole. Like, come on, bro. So I don't really go to this fishing spot anymore because I have to pass the 666. There's an old fishing spot I had over here. Everything's just, I'm sorry I didn't have the camera on the other side. Everything's just opened up. And it's going to continue to. I haven't been here a full cycle. I haven't cycled through the seasons one time over yet. This will be the first winter. And then as you walk back, you have to see it again. Although there is a 7 at the beginning, I still don't like it. So I will get my gun out. Or maybe I'll just leave it the fuck alone. What if some people hear me shooting? Although the 22 rifle is pretty quiet. So maybe we just leave it alone? I don't know. We just don't go this way. We'll stay over here. I was thinking to tell people, hey, if you're homeless, bro, you go camp out in the back. Nah, dude. I'm not doing that no more. I wasn't doing that in the beginning. There's a bunch of tiles. I had those tiles all under the table, but I didn't want it to be too much man-made shit. So here's another look at the shack. I got curtains that'll hang off the back or something. But yeah, just creepy shit. Creepy shit, man. When the weather changes and we get into Halloween, a lot of people can become depressed. I don't, but I used to. I used to be like, fuck, man, another fucking 8 months of winter in this cold-ass bitch. This fucking ghetto-ass city. In the south side of Chicago. I don't know anything other than this, but I know it's a lot warmer in other places. So over there across the river, down there I guess is where they filmed. They said they were over on this side, but they just wanted river shots. Because Buffalo Bill lived on a river, and they were trying to call it the Calumet River, but they didn't necessarily need it to be the actual location. And They were in Chicago Heights too, I think. And there's my river. But you learn something new about this place every day. You got these caverns and shit. All these rocks, I think, were in the ground. And they dredged the rocks up from the river to make it like barge friendly. See, here's an old tie-off. This is like a barge tie-off. It's a pretty thick rope. And they had it on this stump here. And boats would tie off here. And there was a lot of traffic through here. There was actually a bridge that was here, they say. But nature takes everything. We're all gonna go to nature. There's no getting around it. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And it's hard losing people, and it's hard hearing about people taking their own lives. But I was driving in the car and they're like, man, there's been a rash of suicides on the south side of Chicago. The holidays do it, you know, shit like that. I put that old tin from an old dilapidated house on the side. This is what they used to line their kitchens with. I'm surprised a raccoon hasn't taken up shelter in this. I suppose it's not warm enough. But I made this and here it stands. I still got it. I wrote on it, as you leave, fear God. I wrote a bunch of little funny things. Be a good person, no littering, no snitches. You know, just stupid shit people do when we are in the woods all by ourselves. Then I got this other little plot area over here. I made a like a rock threshold over here. Actually, the path used to be over here, they said. Somebody was kind of telling me the history of this joint. There used to be a lock system over here for to lock the, you know, to make the water levels raised and lowered. Here's another little spot, two chairs. And them chairs stand up all by themselves on an angle. It looks like they want to fall over. And there's a little fireplace down here too. If you ever want to have a little fireplace. But this is a good tie-off for a boat too, because it's a little shallow for a little while. You're not going to kill yourself. See this little fireplace? You can't really see it because this is in the way. But if you move that, see, you got a little fireplace. And then you got some grills here if you want to grill up some. The water line is very low. This rock right here, you can tell an animal's been coming here, or ducks. Can't you see how it's perfect for somebody to get down there? Maybe a deer. Them look like droppings of a raccoon, perhaps. Some kind of animal gets down there to the water right here because it's more secluded. They don't like the openness, but I get a lot of birds. Here's a perfect seat. You could tell see, everywhere you see these droppings are like these perfect seats for animals. It's a chill spot for an animal. They're everywhere, and this rock can be used for anything. Look at this rock. It's just like flake. It just flakes off into this shit. And you just throw it down on the ground. Before you know it, if you do that enough, wow, the rocks are really flat right here. This was a good decision for a chill spot. Because see how shallow? I don't know if you could see. But this is made for barges, so it gets really deep, really fucking quick. And boats, but right here it stays shallow. There's an embankment and it just continues. There's some areas where it's flat. There's some old clothes. I don't know. Sometimes I honestly don't want to find what's in the ground here because I know there's a lot of animals buried here, and you know, I'm not going to be bringing anything back to life. So when I see clothes and things embedded in the ground, I just kind of like want to leave them there. Here's an old dug up tree. But then I made this other area. Now I got the back to that pavilion. It looks a little better. Here's another little area that looks almost like foundation for a home. Then there's this piece of wood. Shit, there's wood over here that could be used for that roof of that pavilion. Alright, I see. And this is that treated shit. It's got this weather guard shit on it. I think I'm gonna have to drag it over by my pavilion. But just an update on the shack and a creepy little factoid about this area. Alright everybody, Calumet River. Peace.